So, guys, I'm going to read the Becoming Sister Wives book today, and we could consider it like a reading book club, or I might give my reactions to it. I don't know. We'll see as it goes. Getting started. Becoming Sister Wives, the story of an unconventional marriage. This book was written by Cody, Mary, Janelle, Christine, and Robin Brown. So, I'm going to the next page. There's a little bit of a paragraph from Cody. My life is my family, he says. Okay. I enjoy nothing more than being surrounded by my wives and my children. Which makes sense, Cody, given that you're a complete attention whore. I draw strength from them on a daily basis. That makes sense. I mean, narcissistic people depend on the narcissistic supply, and he draws strength from them on a daily basis. I love the energy and unity that we exude as a group. Yeah, I'm sure you love it, Cody, because it's all because of the wives and the children and their personalities and the resilience that everybody was inadvertently drawn to you, and they'd wonder what all of them are doing around you. I mean, because by yourself, nobody wants to give you any attention, is what I'd assume. Anyway, so yeah, he says, we are wholesome and upright, and we are devout and chaste. Interesting. I mean, I can understand the women and children are wholesome and upright. OG3 wives, the OG13 kids. But we are devout and chaste. I don't know how devout and chaste you were, Cody. I never heard you talking about God or religion except when you wanted to buy a house or a car. Anyway, he says, we are 5 consenting adults and 17 happy children. No, none of your children were happy. And your wives never consented to bringing in Robin. Anyway, all free to make our own choices in this world. You clearly indicated Christine didn't have a choice to leave when she wanted to leave. You made it as hard for her emotionally as much as possible. Anyway, proceeding further, I think this is like a little bit of an intro to the book. In many ways, the Browns are like any other middle American family. They eat, play, and pray together, squabble, and hug, striving to raise happy, well adjusted children while keeping their relationship loving and strong. The difference is there are 5 adults in the openly polygamous Brown marriage, Cody and his 4 wives, who among them have 17 children. Since TLC first launched its popular reality program, Sister Wives, the Browns have become one of the most famous families in the country. Now, Cody, Mary, Janelle, Christine, and Robin reveal in their own words exactly how their special relationship works, the love and faith that drew them together, the pluses and pitfalls of having sister wives, and the practical and emotional complications of a lifestyle viewed by many with distrust, prejudice, even fear. So sometimes I have to kind of pause when I'm, moving across pages. The browser takes a moment to load. With the candor and frankness that have drawn millions to their show, they talk about what makes their fascinating family work, addressing the topics that intrigue outsiders. How do the 4 relationships differ? What effect does a polygamous upbringing have on their children? What are the challenges, emotional, social, or financial, involved in living this lifestyle? Is it possible for all 4 sister wives to feel special when sharing a husband? No. And what happens when jealousy arises? How has being on camera changed their lives? And what's it like to add a new wife to the family or to be that new wife? Filled with humor, warmth, surprising insights, the remarkable honesty, this is a singular story of plural marriage and all the struggles and joys that go with it. At heart, it's a love story, unconventional, but immediately recognizable in the daily moments of trust, acceptance, forgiveness, compassion, passion, and commitment that go into making one big, extraordinarily happy family. I'm not sure about that. Never saw that much on screen now that we look at hindsight. And, you know, we heard from Cody himself. He never was in love with his wives, he says. Anyways, becoming sister wives. So, yeah, there's a number of pages that just keep saying becoming sister wives. So I'm just going to try to go past the copyright pages and see where I get. Okay, here's another one. To all those who lived and loved before us in secrecy, unable to acknowledge their love, marriages, and life publicly. We dedicate our story to you. This sounds more like, I don't know, Cody trying to express himself to Robin. She never reciprocates. That's the funniest part, right? He always says she's the love of my life, and she's always talking about how he's exasperating to be around. All right. So there's a number of pages on table of contents, and now here Cody is again offering a prologue to the book. Cody says, I'm sitting in a room of the Grand Ballroom in the Beverly Hills Hilton. I almost can't believe I'm here. I'm a small town boy. No, Cody, you're not a boy. You're a man. I know you've had the brain of a boy all along, but you are a man, a husband to 4 people, 4 grown adults, and a father to 18 children. Anyway, he admits, I'm a small town boy. He still has a boy brain. Not some Hollywood superstar, he says. This glittering place is a far cry from my current hometown of Lehi, Utah. The occasion is the Television Critics Association biannual press tour at which networks announce their fall lineup of television shows to the media. On stage, they're playing a clip from a news show on the Discovery Channel. It's about Greenpeace crusaders who are devoted to saving whales. It's a hippie version of that channel's smash hit, Deadliest Catch. This is the kind of show the critics are expecting, the kind of show guaranteed to draw attention without polarizing the audience. My show is a lot more controversial. It's the first of its kind. Like the Greenpeace activists on stage, I too am taking a stand, but I have no idea how my fight will play out in the court of public opinion. I have no idea how critics, the audience, and the American public are going to react to me. I'm getting nervous. I'm sitting in a chair getting my hair and makeup done. Makeup. I grew up on a ranch in rural Wyoming. I never ever thought I'd wear makeup, let alone have a team of people apply it, making sure I'm camera ready. That's not true, Cody. Your high school classmate showed pictures of you wearing girl's dress in full female makeup back when you were, I don't know, 17 years old or something, and everybody thought you were flamboyantly gay. So it's not true that you haven't worn makeup before. Anyway, so he says, I grew up on a ranch in rural Wyoming. I never ever thought I'd wear makeup, let alone have a team of people apply it, making sure I'm camera ready. The stylist asked me casually, so what's your show about? Oh, I say, trying to be as offhanded as possible. It's about my family. I'm a polygamist and I have 4 wives. The stylist stops fussing with me for a second. I can see the shock in her eyes. I know what she's thinking. I'm an average looking dude who looks more like a surfer than a religious fanatic. How could I be a polygamist? After I'm done with hair and makeup, I'm ushered backstage with my wives. We wait anxiously as the 120-second teaser for our show plays on the big screen in the auditorium. They've added some pumping music to the trailer, trying to infuse my family's life with tension and intrigue. My heart begins to pound. I'm breathing shallowly. What have I done? I'm about to expose my family to the world. I'm about to do the very thing most polygamous families live in fear of. I'm about to go public. I know that I'm putting my family at risk. My wives and I could lose our jobs. Our children could be tormented at school. But I'm tired of hiding. I'm tired of living like a second-class citizen. I'm tired of lying about my life. I have a wonderful family, a perfectly happy family, with beautiful wives and beautiful children. I don't want us to live the rest of our days in fear. I'm about to ask America to accept us. I grasp my wife's hands in an informal prayer circle. We draw strength from one another and from our faith in God. We renew our commitment to our beliefs. I steady myself. The world is ready, I think, to hear our story. The world is ready to accept us for who we are and not shun us for our beliefs. I drop my wife's hands as we are called to the stage. Let me introduce you to the real face of polygamy. When people hear the phrase Mormon fundamentalist, they probably think about a small subset of our population, the Fundamentalist Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. For too long, this organization and the handful of abusive men who ran it have been the poster children of polygamy in America. Until recently, the FLDS was run by Warren Jeffs, who has been found guilty of child sexual assault and is now serving a life sentence in prison. He ruled his organization with an iron fist, creating a climate rampant with abuse and fear. He not only tolerated but also promoted child brides. He summarily reassigned the wives of men he deemed unworthy to new husbands. These are not my beliefs. This is not my world. While we share a belief in the principle of celestial plural marriage, I want to make it clear that the practices of the FLDS have no place in my universe. We belong to a different religious community, one that has several thousand members worldwide. In our faith, incest and spousal abuse are serious crimes which, when discovered, result in immediate legal action. And yet, Cody, what did you do? You did go on to eventually emotionally abuse, financially abuse, verbally abuse your wives, your original three wives, and your original 13 kids. And you say you're like the happiest family ever? You've never been happy. Right from season one, maybe even the first 2 or 3 episodes, Christine was already complaining about not wanting Robin to be the fourth wife, that her consent, as you say, must be taken, wasn't taken in bringing Robin into the family. You were already doing non religious things like, I don't know, her, kissing Robin while Christine was mid labor. It's just, I don't know, you're so full of it. Anyway, he continues, I'm sure when most people think of Mormon fundamentalists, they think of long, modest dresses and old fashioned hairstyles, something you might see in an old Western movie. This only covers a fraction of polygamists. If we weren't on TV, you wouldn't be able to pick my family out of a crowd. We dress like anyone else, maybe a tiny bit more modestly, but definitely modernly. Our kids go to public school. They watch TV, go to the movies, play computer games, go to parties, and listen to popular music. They play sports, wear makeup, sometimes too much for my liking, and participate in school activities. Basically, my family is not all that different from yours. Our sect is one of the more liberal branches of Mormon fundamentalism. Unlike some other fundamentalist Mormons, we accept the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter day Saints as a legitimate faith. We follow the same scripture they do. In most beliefs and practices, we differ very little from the LDS Church. Of course, the one area in which we do diverge is in our belief in the doctrine of the celestial plural marriage, which we call the principle. Although not every member of our faith enters into a plural marriage, we still believe that it is a crucial step in our personal spiritual development. Celestial plural marriage isn't something we take lightly or take for granted. It's a calling, something we are summoned to do by God. Considering Joseph Smith was the guy who created this whole concept of, having a revelation in the form of a dream in the middle of the night and coming and announcing it to the rest of the family that he saw a dream that he must marry an underage girl. I wouldn't say that, this is a calling that is summoned to by God. Seems more like a calling that's summoned to by a dick. Anyway, it's a commandment in our scripture, fundamental to our belief system, Cody says. He continues, its intention and design is specific to our personal development and spiritual growth. Not all people in our sect enter into polygamy despite their belief in the doctrine. Thank goodness, right? I mean, Robin's ex had some common sense and didn't do it. All right, so Cody continues. Some never find the right partners with whom to live the principle. However, when the opportunity for plural marriage is placed before us, and when we are called to it, it seems wise to accept. Religion is by nature elitist. Everyone wants to believe that his way is the right way. Too many people, regardless of their faith, are small minded enough to imagine that their beliefs, their doctrines, and their rituals are the only way to be saved or to know God. I'm not self centered enough to entertain these thoughts. In no way do I imagine that my family members are the only people who got it right. God speaks to each of us in His own way. He calls a person in that person's language and reaches individuals in terms they will understand. What I'm called to do is not what you are called to do. I don't consider followers of another religion any less worthy in God's eyes or in mine. I don't believe that what's appropriate for one person is necessarily appropriate for all. The principle is my calling. It's probably not yours. and that's fine with me. The principle of plural marriage is sacred to me and to all fundamentalist Mormons. It's not something I've come to casually or flippantly adopt. It's not easy, and it's not something I recommend to anyone who is not prepared for the challenges. Building a complex family from our separate marriages has its challenges. My wives and I have had to learn to be understanding, kind, compassionate, and patient. We have had to develop ourselves morally and ethically. The demands on a plural family are far greater than those on a monogamous couple. Since we have to consider the sensitivity of other wives and other marriages on an everyday basis, plural marriage consistently challenges us. It makes us confront our shortcomings and overcome them. We have to learn to handle our jealousy, contain our aggression. We have to check our selfishness. There is no room for ego in plural marriage. That's strange coming from Cody, considering in the season 18 tell all he said polygamy is all about ego, baby. He said that to Suki. And also, him saying that they handle their aggression and jealousy. No way. Robin's been a jealous one right from the beginning. She was never able to control it to the point that she completely suffocated all the other marriages and children out of the family. And Cody was never able to control his aggression. He bulldozed all the kids and wives into having Robin be the fourth wife, and then he bulldozed all of the OG3 wives out of their lifetime earnings and retirement funds, and he bulldozed his OG13 kids out of their inheritance. So, what are they talking about? All lies. He's so full of it, and she's so full of it. Anyway, Cody continues. Although we know these things, we are by no means perfect. Each member of my family has his or her flaws. Every day, we must work toward a higher level of communication with one another. In the end, our acceptance of the doctrine of plural marriage allows us to transcend our limitations and become enlightened. It challenges us to be the best version of ourselves in this lifetime. I know people probably misinterpret what I do. They probably think I'm wife hoarding, that I'm satisfying my carnality at the expense of my wife's feelings. I know there are people out there who assume I'm some kind of macho pig. Yes, you are, Cody, you are a macho pig. While this couldn't be further from the truth, I understand that this misconception comes from the perceived imbalance in the practice. Why can I have multiple wives, yet my wives cannot have multiple husbands? In the first place, that is not our commandment. Second, when my wives are asked if they would take a second husband, they emphatically answer, not interested. Well, not in this day and age. All your wives are very happy to sleep with other men who are better than you, Cody. Perhaps there are people out there for whom taking plural husbands is a viable lifestyle. Perhaps there is a religion where this is a sacred way of life, but this is not our faith. Each of my wives has come into our family of her own free will. Choosing to join a plural family has been their choices, their preferences. It's something they prayed over, then sought out of their own volitions. Believe it or not, some of them made the first move, asking to join my family, even before I proposed. When I say I love each of my wives wholly, passionately, and eternally, I'm telling the truth. I believe that with each of my wives, I share a destiny, and that together we five adults were predetermined to be one family. We believe on a very deep level that we belong together in an absolute fashion. We are meant to be. So you definitely lie a lot by omission, Cody. You forgot to mention that in your religion, once you're married one time, as a married man, you're not supposed to chase other women. And that makes sense that that is the reason why wives like Christine and all pursued you, and you didn't have to chase them like normal monogamous couples sometimes did traditionally back in those days. I can see how you're trying to raise your social capital here and create the auction effect of being the one in demand, but you lie a lot by omission, Cody, and we have noted it. So, Cody continues. So, how can I love four women? It's a fair question and an easy one to answer. Loving them is simple. It's like breathing, waking up in the morning, putting one foot in front of the other. It's one of those things you do unconsciously, sometimes so deeply ingrained into your psyche and your way of being that you never question it. It's hard to explain how I love my wives to someone who is not inside the principle. The simplest analogy is of a mother who is pregnant with her second child and worries that she will not love this one as much as she loved her first. What? I don't know if there are mothers that think that. I mean, yeah, of course, the world is made up of all kinds of people. Maybe there are mothers that have that suspicion or doubt or question or concern. But anyway, I would think the functional thing to do is to think that you're going to love all of your children in the same way, irrespective of their age differences or them being first or second or third born, and so on and so forth. But I can see a dysfunctional person like you wouldn't think like that, Cody. You just abandoned your OG 13 kids like trash once Robin came into the picture. Okay, so Cody continues. She, the mother who's pregnant, loves both of her children because they are her children, but she loves them individually for their different qualities. She loves one because he's a remarkable athlete, but she doesn't love him any less because he's a terrible student, even as she loves the other for her sense of humor and her scholarly habits. That's not why parents love their children, Cody. They don't love their children because one kid is a remarkable athlete or not a good student or has a sense of humor or has scholarly habits. They just love their children, irrespective of whatever the children's qualities are. They try to be unconditional, unconditionally loving parents and unconditionally accepting parents who are there to guide and correct course for the children and protect them and provide for them. That's what parenting is all about. Anyway, I can't read any more of Cody today. I'm a little overwhelmed. I will continue to read tomorrow, but I have to take a break from Cody's horseshit. Anyway, have a good rest of your day, everyone. Take care. Bye now.